Hello and welcome back to Travel in Chinese. I'm Mark Rosewell, also known as Dashan. Recently we've been spending a lot of time traveling in and around the city of Beijing. You know, it's a huge city with a very rich culture and history. As a tourist visiting Beijing, you really need at least 5 to 7 days to see the major sites. But if you live here for a longer time, you'll find that there's a huge number of sites to visit and experience to have in this city of Beijing. Today we're going to visit one of the parks in central Beijing that's perhaps one of the oldest parks in all of China. That's Beihai Park. Let's take a look at today's dialogue.
快点呐，快到我这边来。
来了。哎呀，这个地方一点都没变呀，白塔、绿树、红墙，我仿佛呀又回到了以前的生活。
爸爸，你以前经常来这儿吗？
那当然了，爸爸小的时候啊，就经常到这儿来划船。
是吗？那个时候就有北海公园了。
看你说的，这个地方呀有近1000年的历史了。不过当时它是皇帝一个人的花园，别人啊是不能进来的。
嘿，那多没劲啊！我最爱和很多同学一起玩。
走。
爸爸，你看，1、2、3，刻着9条龙的墙。我上次和妈妈去故宫的时候，好像也看过这样的墙。
对，这呀叫九龙壁，故宫的那个也叫九龙壁。
啊，妈妈说中国古代的皇帝都喜欢龙，是这样的吗？那为什么一定要刻上9条龙呢？
哈，小杰呀，龙在中国一直被看作是皇帝的象征。九龙不仅代表皇帝的尊贵，更有人认为它会给整个国家带来吉祥的。
哎，爸爸，你看9条龙的颜色都不一样，真好看。
哈，是啊。
爸爸，你看这边的风景真好。你看那边有人在划船，我们也去吧。
小杰呀，我们歇会儿再去划吧。爸爸刚才一口气走了这么久，有点累了。
爸爸，快走快走，我来划船，你坐着休息好了。
哎，小杰呀，要不然我先带你去仿膳吃点东西吧。
仿膳？那是什么地方？
小杰呀，以前皇帝吃饭呀就叫做用膳，仿膳呢是一个饭店的名字。哎，就在北海公园里头，卖的都是啊皇帝以前吃的东西和一些宫廷小吃。
宫廷小吃？对，
就是啊以前皇宫里的人经常吃的小吃，比如说豌豆黄、芸豆卷、小窝头，肉末烧饼等等。
啊，别说了，我们先去吃吧。
你现在不着急划船了？
顾不上，我们先去吃好吃的再说。
走。
When Huang Renhao was young, he 经常到这儿来划船. He often came here to row a boat. Here, hua is pronounced in the second tone, meaning to row. This character is sometimes pronounced in the fourth tone, hua, as in 计划, a plan. 划船 is to row a boat. This has been a place of recreation for almost 1,000 years, 近1000年. 不过当时它是皇帝一个人的花园, but it used to be a garden only for the emperor. 皇帝一个人, only the emperor, just this one person.
那当然了，爸爸小的时候啊，就经常到这儿来划船。
是吗？那个时候就有北海公园了。
看你说的，这个地方呀有近1000年的历史了。不过当时它是皇帝一个人的花园，别人啊是不能进来的。
嘿，那多没劲啊！我最爱和很多同学一起玩。
走。
They come to the Nine-Dragon Wall, or screen, 九龙壁. This is one of the main sites within the park area. Bi is a wall, 墙壁. Emperors often use the symbol of a dragon because 龙在中国一直被看作是皇帝的象征. In China, the dragon has always been considered a symbol, 象征 of the emperor. 被看作 is to be seen as, to be thought of as being. 被看作吉祥的象征, to be seen as a symbol of good fortune. The dragon is a symbol of the emperor's respect or his authority, 尊贵。
对，这呀叫九龙壁，故宫的那个也叫九龙壁。
啊，妈妈说中国古代的皇帝都喜欢龙，是这样的吗？那为什么一定要刻上9条龙呢？
哈，小杰呀，龙在中国一直被看作是皇帝的象征。九龙不仅代表皇帝的尊贵，更有人认为它会给整个国家带来吉祥的。
They head on to the Dagobah, Beihai, and view the scenery, 风景 all around. 小杰 sees people rowing boats, but her father is a little tired out. 我们歇会儿再去划吧。歇 is a colloquial term for 休息 to rest. 歇会儿再去划 rest a bit before going to row. 爸爸一口气走了那么久。Your dad has been walking so long without rest. As we learned in an earlier lesson, 一口气 means literally in one breath, but it's used figuratively to indicate that something has been done without stopping, without interruption. 一口气。
小杰呀，我们歇会儿再去划吧。爸爸刚才一口气走了这么久，有点累了。
小杰 wants to have her father rest in the boat, but Huang Renhao has another idea. 要不然我先带你到仿膳吃点东西吧。Why don't I take you to Fangshan to eat something? 要不然 literally means otherwise, but here it's used to make a suggestion. Fangshan is one of the most famous old restaurants in Beijing. Shan refers to Yu Shan. This is a fancy term to refer to the emperor's meals. Shan means meal. For example, Yong Shan is to eat a meal. Fang is to imitate. So Fangshan, just like the emperor's meals.
要不然我先带你去仿膳吃点东西吧。
仿膳？这是什么地方？
小杰呀，以前皇帝吃饭呀就叫做用膳，仿膳呢是一个饭店的名字，哎，就在北海公园里头，卖的都是皇帝以前吃的东西和一些宫廷小吃。
宫廷小吃？
对，就是以前皇宫里的人经常吃的小吃，比如说豌豆黄、芸豆卷、小窝头。肉末烧饼等等。
啊，别说了，我们先去吃吧。
你现在不着急划船了？
顾不上，我们先去吃好吃的再说。
走。
Let's take a bit of a break from our language lesson now and talk a little bit more about Beihai Park. You know, this has been a playground for emperors for hundreds of years. Some attribute the site to Kublai Khan, grandson of Genghis Khan and founder of the Yuan dynasty in China. The island at the southern end of the lake is said to have been created by excavating the site on the orders of Kublai Khan. And this location is associated with his grand palace. This would have been the center of Beijing before the Forbidden City was built in the Ming and Qing dynasties. Unfortunately, all that remains of the Khan's palace today is a large jar made of green jade. Dominating this island, known as Jade Islet, is a 36-meter-high white Dagobah, originally built in 1651 and then rebuilt in 1741. This is one of the most famous Dagobahs in all of China. Stupas of all kinds appeared in China with the import of Buddhism. In Chinese, these are known as ta, including all styles of stupas and pagodas. Initially, stupas were said to contain some sort of Buddhist relic or ashes of a saintly Buddha. Other times, stupas were built to safekeep holy scriptures and various ritual implements. This leads to the term Fota, Buddhist pagoda, or Baota, treasure pagodas. The Dagobah is a pagoda of Tibetan style and is sometimes called Lamata, after the Lamanist school of Buddhism. Mongolians have also been followers of this school, which originated in Tibet. So it makes sense that Kublai Khan would set about building a large Dagobah in Beijing after selecting the city as the capital of the Yuan dynasty. It was hoped that the Dagobah would symbolize the regime's divine power and keep the nation at peace. Another attraction in Beihai Park is the 9-dragon wall, 9龙壁, sculpted in 7 colors of glazed tile. Screen walls were common in traditional architecture for giving privacy to an entrance, as well as serving as a symbol of rank. The number 9 and the dragon are both symbols of the emperor. The screen wall in Beihai Park is considered the most splendid of 3 similar walls in China dating from the Ming dynasty. So the wall in Beihai Park is definitely worth seeing when you visit. Now let's take a look at some of the language points that came up in today's dialogue. For example, 仿佛. This is like 好像, it seems, as if. For example, 看着这些老照片，我仿佛又回到了从前。Looking at these old photos, it's as if I've gone back to the past. 看着这些老照片，我仿佛又回到了从前。
这个地方一点都没变呀，白塔绿树红墙，我仿佛呀又回到了以前的生活。
Here's another language point. 近 as in 接近, almost, up to, not exceeding a certain number. For example, 中国有近5000年的文化历史. China has almost 5,000 years of cultural history. 中国有近5000年的文化历史。
那个时候就有北海公园了。
看你说的，这个地方呀有近1000年的历史了。
Now it's time to do a few substitutions. Here's an interesting pattern. 一口气, showing that an action has happened continuously or without interruption. Not necessarily in one breath, but without interruption. For example, 他太渴了，一口气喝掉了一整瓶的水。He was too thirsty. He drank a whole bottle of water at once.
他饿极了，居然一口气吃了30个饺子。
他饿极了，居然一口气吃了30个饺子。
这本书我是一口气读完的。
这本书我是一口气读完的。
Here's another pattern for substitution. 顾不上. That means you're too busy or for some reason you just can't pay attention or you can't think about something. For example, 他一工作起来就什么都忘了，常常连晚饭都顾不上吃。When he starts working, he forgets everything else. He often forgets to have his dinner even, or he's so busy he can't even think about dinner.
他光顾着照相，连话都顾不上和我们说了。
他光顾着照相，连话都顾不上和我们说了。
他整天工作都顾不上回家了。
他整天工作都顾不上回家了。
Today we went to Beihai Park, Beihai 公园, and saw sites like the White Dagobah, 白塔, or the 九龙壁, the Nine Dragons Screen. Sometimes in these places you can get the feeling that 仿佛回到了过去的生活. You've gone back to life in the past. Well, in the last couple of episodes, we've seen some of the big sites around Beijing. Next up, we're going to do something a little bit more depth. We're going to go and tour around some of the narrow alleyways or 胡同 of old Beijing. We'll see you then. 再见.